Hello, hi, welcome. Today I'll be talking about most of the Saratoga campaign, but more specifically the Battle of Saratoga. But before we talk about that, we have to talk about the events that ended up leading up to that. The time was early summer of 1777. The British were looking for a way to get rid of the American rebels when General John Burgoyne suggested a three-dimensional attack on Albany. The idea was that John Burgoyne would march down from Lake Champlain down to Albany, where he'd meet up with St. Ledger moving east from Ontario and General Howe moving north from New York City and attack Albany from three directions. If Albany was taken, they would be able to secure the Hudson River and separate New England from the rest of the colonies, and it was a great plan. Until it wasn't. For a large handful of reasons, this went tremendously wrong. Due to the British being Olympic-level miscommunicators, Howe ended up focusing on attacking Philadelphia. Alongside that, St. Ledger ended up being held up by American troops, so Burgoyne's army still ended up marching down Lake Champlain, taking Fort Ticonderoga along the way, and approaching Albany exhausted, but more importantly, alone. Now onto the battles of Saratoga. There was actually two battles, the Battle of Freeman's Farm and the Battle of Bemis Heights. Bemis Hills.
Bemis Heights.
The Battle of Freeman's Farm was a long-fought battle between General John Burgoyne on the British side and Generals Daniel Morgan and Horatio Gates on the American side. The battle went on for several hours, but to cut it short, there was a clash in between both armies, and British reinforcements ended up arriving to push the Americans back. The battle technically ended a British victory, but Britain had suffered almost twice the losses that the Americans did. Even though they had technically won the battle, the British were too exhausted to push with the advantage that they had just gained. Because of this, General Burgoyne decided to dig in and wait for any news that he'd be gaining support from the south. At the same time, due to attrition, the size of his army was gradually reducing and running out of supplies, while the American army was steadily increasing in number. Burgoyne decided that the best course of action would be to attack the Americans' left flank, but American scouts had noticed his movement and American troops started to move towards the left as well. But around 2:30 p.m., British grenadiers started to fire, which started the Second Battle of Saratoga, the Battle of Bemis Heights.
Bemis Heights.
This attack was basically bound to fail since they were cooked the moment the American forces outnumbered them about 3-1. On their left flank, they were being pushed back alongside them being exposed due to Benedict Arnold, who was drunk and going crazy at the time, went and attacked the right redoubt of the British camp, which was guarded by Henrik Bard Bremen alongside 300 troops. He exposed the rear of this position, took the redoubt, and finished Bremen off. It wasn't a good look for the British already, and when they tried to retreat under the cover of darkness because they were way outnumbered and a lot of his most effective leaders were finished off, his army was completely surrounded and he was forced to surrender. This was the first time a British army had surrendered, and because of their surrender, this ended up being one of the largest turning points in the war, specifically because these defeats convinced the French that, hey, maybe this won't end in a definite failure. Anyways, to summarize, the Battle of Saratoga was an American victory that caused the first British surrender in the war and convinced the French to jump in on this battle. Anyways, that's all I have for you. Hope you learned something new from this video, and yeah, see ya.